This must be in the running for one of the most random videos on YouTube. Playing recorder to my pigeon. This is Puck. I found him last week. He'd been blown out of his nest in some strong winds and I found him in the middle of the pavement, unfortunately being bothered by some dogs and some dog walkers. He was clearly very cold, bedraggled and frightened, so I took pity on him, brought him into the house and thought I will find a nice rescue centre to take him in. But they were all full, so now I have a pigeon. So because he seems to be so responsive to sounds, I thought I would try playing some recorder for him. He might like it. Bear with me, I haven't totally lost the plot. There is a precedent for this. Back in the day, that is the 18th century, it was the very thing for the rich, upper-class type folk to own trained songbirds. And if your songbird could sing more complex, melodious tunes than anyone else's, then you were the dog's doodahs. This became business. In 1717, a collection of sheet music was published. It was called The Bird Fancier's Delight, and this book promised to give you all the instruction and songs you would need to teach your feathered friends how to muster a tune. The music was aimed at being played either on the sopranino or the treble recorder, but also a specialist instrument was invented called the bird flageolet. This played even higher than the sopranino recorder to better mimic the natural whistle of a bird. The pieces of music were aimed at specific bird species. Blackbirds, starlings, canaries, and apparently bullfinches made particularly good students. Nobody mentioned pigeons, though. I don't have a bird flageolet, so I'm going to use my soprano recorder to play a tune for Puck and see if he likes it. I am in good company here. Haydn and Beethoven both owned parrots that were trained to sing, and Mozart bought a particularly tuneful canary. So I've decided not to risk frightening Puck by playing my recorder right in front of him. We're in a really small room here and it's quite echoey, so it would be too loud and I think it would just make him nervous. So I've already recorded the thing that I'm going to play for him and I'm going to show him the video and we'll see what his reaction is. So what do you play for a pigeon? There is of course the Bird Fancier's Delight, full of tunes for birds, but I think Puck would be offended that there was nothing in there for pigeons. I've been trying to think of bird-related songs, and the first thing that sprung to mind is, of course, the birdie song. But somehow I don't think I would be doing the reputation of the recorder as a serious instrument much good by taking to YouTube and knocking out a rendition of the birdie song. So ultimately, this has just turned into an excuse for me to play some more of my beloved Jacob van Eyck. I'm going to go for the English Nightingale, just the first part of it, because I only started practicing it this morning and I can't make it through Modo 2. Of course, this is just a bit of fun. I just want to see how Puck reacts to something that sounds high-pitched and kind of, sort of like birdsong. I'm not really expecting to be able to train him to sing. He is a pigeon, but you never know, he might be the Pavarotti of the pigeon world. He hasn't shut up the entire time I've been filming this anyway, so he's in good voice. Okay, I have my video of The English Nightingale by Jacob van Eyck, so let's see what Puck thinks to it. That wasn't the reaction I was expecting. I thought he might be more interested in the screen and try to whistle or peck at the screen. I've never known him to be that quiet for that long. He really did seem to shut up and pay attention. You can probably hear he's starting to whistle again now. This is usually what he's like. He's usually pretty active and he calls and whistles a lot. So, he really seemed to pay attention to it. I'm very surprised. I've just played it through a couple more times for him and his reactions were exactly the same. He was whistling and chirping like he is now, and then as soon as I hit play, he sort of settles down and he really does watch the screen. Wow, who knew pigeons like music? I think I'll have to leave him the radio on, put him a bit of classic FM on. You agree? I'm talking to a pigeon. I think now is a good time to stop the video. If you would like to read more about how recorders and flageolets and other instruments were used to train birds to sing, and let's face it, who wouldn't, then I've left a few links in the description below. These are to websites that I found particularly useful or interesting when I was trying to learn as much about this topic as I could. The link to the British Library website is particularly nice because on there is a sound clip of a bullfinch who is whistling a German folk tune, so this method obviously worked for someone. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I make videos every week about playing the recorder and the flute, and I promise they are not all as random as this one, but some of them are. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again next time. Bye!